Hello, everybody. God, awful start. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We're back with another edition of the Rumour Mill. My blinds are doing my head in. You're going to have to deal with that, unfortunately. We're back with another episode. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Before we get into this video, please make sure you are smashing a like on the video. Please make sure you're subscribing to the content. We will have another video out on the Patreon today. The General will be live over there, so make sure you're checking that out if you want some bonus One Leeds content as well. I think we're going to try to do a bit of a reaction to Daniel Farke's press conference, a live reaction to Daniel Farke's press conference, potentially for the YouTube members as well. We'll see how that goes when it comes to copyright. But shout out to Amy. I can see you in the building. Thanks for the nice message this morning. Good morning, all. Says Adam. Great work, mate. Morning, Connor. Hi, everybody. Come on, Connor. Where's our left back? Mate, I'd drive down to get us a left back. That'd be very nice. Morning, Connor. Hope you're well, pal. Hiya, JC. Official O-Dog. Is it Otis? Shout out to you, buddy. I've just seen you on TikTok. Morning, Connor. Guys, if you're bothered about TikTok, I'm going live on TikTok most mornings before the Rumour Mill as well. It's not the Rumour Mill. It's more just personal Q&As every morning if you guys want to get involved in that sort of stuff. Morning, Connor. What have you got for us today? I'll tell you, mate. Don't you worry. Morning, Connor. Can't wait to hear some positives after departures. Congrats on going full-time. Cheers, buddy. Smash a like and subscribe, please. Good to see you, Connor, from Australia. Shout out to you, mate. Terrible accent, but there we go. We move. Okay, so number one, what's going on this morning, Connor? Have you clickbaited us? Absolutely not. I never clickbait you, lovely, lovely people. First on the agenda this morning, it is Joe Rodon, according to a Cream Kona, who was reporting in the summer that Leeds will be looking for a permanent deal for Joe Rodon. Cream has said this morning that Leeds are now working on a permanent deal for the Welshman to sign for Leeds United. Now, this is in everybody's best interest. The fan, me, you, would absolutely love Joe Rodon sign on a permanent. I'm a little bit worried when it comes to Joe, can't lie. I'm always worrying when it comes to Leeds United anyway, but Rodon is one that I'm a little bit perturbed about. Why? I can hear you ask, Connor. Well, it's like I said last night. It's like I've said consistently, really. If Leeds are to let this one carry on until the summer months, and we spoke about this yesterday on Generation Leeds on the Patreon, an extended version of this, but if Leeds are to let this go to the summer, I feel we're going to look at a Ben White saga where either Spurs don't want to let him go. I don't think that's going to happen. It's not similar in that sense to Brighton. Brighton always knew that Ben White was going to be part of their plans. I don't know if Joe Rodon's going to be part of Spurs' plans. It's highly unlikely. Similar to Jed Spence, it's surplus to requirements, but their stance on Joe Rodon may change when it comes to Leeds United. Can Leeds offer as much as maybe other clubs would offer for Joe Rodon? And how many other clubs will be in for Joe Rodon in the summer months? So that is why, right at this moment in time, it is huge, in my opinion, that Leeds get this deal done in January. Then what happens, obviously, if Leeds, don't get promoted to the Premier League? If we don't get promoted to the Premier League, then that's a huge problem, isn't it? That is a huge problem because Joe Rodon simply won't move. And if you are Joe Rodon, would you make that move, taking your unbiased hat off right now to Leeds United? I don't know if you would. I think you'd keep your options open because you wouldn't want to be tied down to something where Leeds may not even get promoted. And if Leeds do not get promoted, he's tied himself into a contract with a club where he could have got a Premier League move. Just turn the brightness up here a little bit, everyone. Beautiful. So, yeah, exactly, Wayne. That's where I'm feeling with it, mate, in terms of him breaking my heart. Joe says, hello, you big, beautiful bastard. Hello, my friend. Levy will want 25 million quid. You are almost the highest rating show in West Australia. I need to come over, mate. I need to come over. Of course I do. Should have done this at the start of the Jan. We always leave it late. I agree, mate. I agree. Daniel also says, good morning, Connor. You're doing a fantastic job. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. LUFC Loft says, Ben White 2.0. Yeah, I don't disagree. I really don't disagree when it comes to him. But getting this one done, there's an argument that it's priority number one. There is an argument it is priority number one right now for Leeds United. If they're able to get this one done, get a centre-back through the door, a permanent centre-back, and it gives us that consistency when we get to the summer months. Liam Cooper, Luke Ayling, Jed Spence, Pascal Struijk, all of this stuff is up in the air right now. Byram, Firpo, it's all up in the air. So getting one consistent signing and a quality consistent signing who is future captain material has to be on the priority list for Leeds. But if you're Tottenham Hotspur, are you looking elsewhere for that potential summer move for Joe Rodon? And if you're Joe Rodon, why would you sign for Leeds now? I honestly don't get it. I do not get it. If I'm looking, Joe Rodon's not a Leeds fan, okay? He might have settled here really well. He's got friends here, which does play a part. Of course it does. Ampadu, James, obviously Joe Rodon, a bit of a Welsh trio there, potentially looking at others, Chris Mepham, David Brooks, another Welsh, we'll have a Welsh contingent at the club. But taking that and putting that to the side, if you're Joe Rodon, why, from a business standpoint and your future, do you sign for Leeds? You don't. In this month, you don't do it. So that's where the worry lies a little bit when it comes to those summer months. Shout out to Paul Ginders. I butchered your name. I'm sorry, Paul. You are now part of the YouTube membership. So shout out to you, my friend. £2 a month. That's all it is, everybody. To have your name flashed up in green and blue and have a lovely little One Leeds icon next to your name. And there will be not as many Patreon videos. Of course, we have 4 Patreon videos a week, for goodness sake, for £4 a month. But for £2 a month, you'll get maybe 1 or 2 a month extra videos. So shout out to you, buddy. Crystal Palace have said they want to sign him in the summer. This is something, Richard, that I was going to get onto as well. Yes, Crystal Palace are now in the equation. Crystal Palace are now in the equation for Joe Rodon, according, this is the rumour mill, to multiple sources. Now, he's proven himself in the Championship. We've had a very, very similar profile of player in Ben White, in a strange sort of sense. And when I say profile of player, everybody, right now, when I say the profile of player, I don't mean the similarities in ability, the similarities in playing style, and similarities in terms of upward trajectory, because I think Ben White is far superior to Joe Rodon. What I mean is in terms of a similar profile of impact on our hearts as Leeds United fans. Sentiment. That's what I mean. That's what I'm referring to here. In terms of players, no one's asking me this question, but Ben White is a proactive centre-back who brings the ball out from the back. Ben White is a player who can play left-back, defensive midfield, right-back, and I think all of those attributes were honed in and harnessed by the true great Marcelo Bielsa, who's able to pivot into different positions because of Bielsa. And that's why I genuinely think his development's grown so much and he's able to play in positions like right back for Arsenal. Obviously, Brighton did play him in a back 3, but I think Bielsa really tested his range when it came to versatility. Joe Rodon is a proper centre-back, who doesn't have as much Swiss Army knife sort of ability as Ben White, but he does have that impact on us. And I think that'd be, I almost think getting that one done will be such a statement from the 49ers. If we're able to get him in, wow, for a good fee, wow. And it'd give us that boost. 10 million, I think we should spend on him. Then Daniel Levy's having an absolute laugh if he thinks we're spending 20 million. That's a joke. But would Crystal Palace spend 20 million? Maybe. Shout out to Ricky, who was gifted 1 Leeds Fan Channel membership. Thank you so much, Ricky. Massive supporter of the channel. Really appreciate that, buddy. As I say, once again, guys, any support, I'm a freelancer. Any support into the channel means that I can pay people to help me out, means I can pay my memberships, my subscriptions to keep this stuff going. So thank you so much. It all goes back into the channel. Rodon looks settled here. He does, mate. He does. If he wants 50k a week under his nose. Morning, Connor. Thanks again, Ricky. Crystal Palace are a little bit of a nothing club. They're just up there. The thing is, Jason, we can all say this, we can all say that. Crystal Palace are a Premier League club. They've been a Premier League club now for a long time. It doesn't matter. They're richer than Leeds United. Money talks, mate. I'd love to say we're a bigger club. He loves it here. But I'd have said that with Ben White. I know it was tricky with Ben. We all know it was tricky with the Brighton saga. But at the end of the day, it is up to the player as well. And if I'm Joe Rodon, I'm not signing for Leeds right now. I'm really not. Oh, Paul, I wish there was something going on with the goalkeeper situation. There's nothing going on. Nothing going on. Rodon guaranteed to start for us. Woody for Palace. Well, there's probably an argument that he'd be there next to Gahey, mate. Obviously, Gahey's probably their best centre back, really, when you look at it. Obviously, Anderson's there as well, isn't he? So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right there. Guaranteed minutes, but it's Premier League, isn't it, mate? And it's more guaranteed minutes than what he's getting. Joe Loft says that he'd spend 20 million quid on him. Yeah, potentially. CP as the London draw too. Rob's bang on the money. Location as well, everybody. He lives in London, doesn't he? Well, that's where he's based. Lives in London. Crystal Palace, obviously a London team, aren't they? So, Giles. Leeds, if you get Giles done, that'd be very nice. An out-and-out left-back who thrived last year in the Championship. And this is what you want. You want experience in the division. You want success in the division. Consistency, momentum. That's enabled you to get to the Premier League. Obviously, Ryan Giles hasn't had the minutes, but Luton, according to the best sources around, are listening to offers right now for Ryan Giles, permanent and loan. So we've got 3 loan spots available. Angus Kinnear said 3 months ago, Leeds have 2 loan spots available. With Jed Spence going back, that makes it 3, the lucky number 3. My lucky number anyway. 3 loan spots available. Leeds have this option now to bring some of these players in, naturally have an option to buy, an obligation to buy in the summer. We have that power at the minute to say, look, we're closing in the top 2. We're going to be a Premier League club. We're in and around the playoffs. We believe we'll win the playoffs. Fair enough. If we are involved in it. Leeds do still have a pulling power, everybody. We do still have a pulling power. And Ryan Giles, obviously Leeds were interested in him. We went all in, didn't we, on Manning, who were lost out to Southampton. But Leeds, if Ryan Giles is to come in, have a different complexion. Daniel Farker is talking about balance. We don't have balance. He's wrong. Unless Firpo's in the side, then we have balance on a back 4. You don't have balance along a back 4 if you have a right-footed left back. You don't. It's not balance. When we have Firpo there, that's a balance. Will Firpo remain fit? No. We all know that. Patterns, trends, data suggest to us that Bamford, Cooper, Firpo and Byram seasonally get injured multiple times. So unless we have a minor miracle when it comes to Bamford, about to turn 31, Junior Firpo for the first time in his career having longevity, then fair enough, but that will be a minor miracle. When you do look at someone like Giles, dependable, reliable, available, all of those sorts of things intertwined, would be a lovely signing, a real lovely signing. A few assists last season as well to notch on his belt, played in a good system in the Championship. I believe it was under Carrick, wasn't it, at Borough? And really, really good addition that would be. Open to offers. That one seems like it would be one to really easily get done. Really easily get done. Yeah, there'll be other clubs in for him. But where we've struggled in this entire conversation, and we'll get on to Benson, but it's fitting players in. It's saying, can X, Y, and Z have minutes? Can they get game time? Giles will get game time. Giles will get minutes. And if Giles doesn't get minutes, game time, then there's one person to blame. And it's Daniel Farker for favouritism when it comes to someone like Sam Byram. You know, it has to be Giles if he does come to the club. And I'm sure the club are understanding of that. I'm sure they are understanding of that. But to elevate us to that next level, to have balance within a back line, to have some real assists from a left back, which would be lovely. Consistent assists from a left back, you go out and get someone like him. He's top draw. Top draw. Michael Keane with the super sticker. Thank you very much, mate. I wonder if this is the Everton player. I don't think it is, but shout out to you, my friend. Let's have a look at a couple of your comments as well. So while you're not working in the Prem, i.e. Giles, could work with us, though, mate. A lot of people do say that if it's not worked out with him in the Premier League with one side, that doesn't mean it wouldn't work out for him with us. It really wouldn't. I mean, when you're looking at Luton's left-sided player, let's have a look at Luton's left back right now. A detailed option. I believe, is it Dan Potts? I can't remember. It might be a little bit, might be different to that. Let me just have a quick look, everybody. Amari Bell, isn't it? Is Amari Bell, and there you go, Dan Potts is there. I didn't know if it was Amari Bell as the left back there. So, yeah, I mean, he's got competition. So when you're looking at Leeds United, when you're looking at us in the Premier League, Ryan Giles might not have any competition. His competition might be Junior Firpo if we are in the Premier League. But it might be a Sam Byram if Leeds are to give him an extended deal at left back. That's his competition. But Giles might have that left back that left back place absolutely sorted. Not having Amari Bell, not having Dan Potts as competition. So systematically, it'd work for him at Leeds, potentially. So that's something to consider. Left-footed left-back says, Ken, that's who we need. Giles will be a good option in the Championship. JC says, I don't think Palace have a huge transfer budget without selling Eze or Elise. And they need to strengthen other positions, so I genuinely think Leeds a better prospect going forward than Crystal Palace. Loft says, it'll go crazy. End of the next week, at least 3 in. Rodon on a perm. Archie tied up would be a great window. Yep. Connor, last year in the winter window, we signed players in over 5 years. Is that contract-wise, mate? I think that's what you mean. Mike says, hi, Con. I hope you're well. Got a question regarding the team lineup for Leeds. Could you ever see a scenario where Farker played Strauch at left-back and kept... Oh, mate, no. No, Mike. We want to stay away from that. Why? Because you've got the likes of Inter Milan. You've got the likes of Ajax again. You've got the likes of other top European clubs looking at Pascal Strauch as a centre-back. Why are Leeds so unique in the fact that we have to budget him to left back? Let's keep players when they are in their best positions. Let me just pull this forward so we get rid of the old blind look. But let's keep them in their proper positions, mate. That's what I say. I say when a Joe Rodon is a centre back, don't put him right back. I say when Pascal Strauch is a left centre back, don't put him left back. Although I did say yesterday that versatility is key. With the centre-back, I think in the modern game, you look at Ben Godfrey, you look at, players that I've spoken about on the channel who I would like Leeds to go for in like Ben Cabango, players of that calibre and ilk who are versatile across the back line. When we actually have a partnership who are consistently doing well together at that back line, let's not move it. Let's not tamper with it. Sometimes I understand situations mean that you have to evolve. You have to go out and get signings. I get it. But I don't want Pascal playing left back. I don't. It's nice that he's got it in his locker, but I'd rather not have that, mate. Isn't it Doherty? Is it not Alfie Doherty? I don't know. I don't know if he's more of a left-sided player, as in like a left winger. Maybe they play a back three. I couldn't profess to know that much about Luton, to be quite honest with you. Ricky says, I had a weird dream where Aronson returned, ate lots of salmon, drank Guinness, went up 15 pounds and rescored to a world-class fullback. I like that. Salmon and Guinness. What a staple diet that is. O'Hare would work. Of course he would, mate. What a player. But then again, Stephen, where does O'Hare fit for Leeds United? I thought of a rhyming couplet there. I couldn't think of a rhyming triplet. Where does he fit in? Leeds can't buy anyone in the front line. What are your thoughts on that? And that fantastically segues me on to Mr. Manuel Benson. Burnley said to Southampton earlier on this window, F off. You're not having him. Benson declared interest in the summer to stick around with Burnley, to be a presence with them in the Premier League. This is a deal that Southampton have been trying to get done from the beginning. Manuel Benson, on that right-hand side, they've got a spot for Manuel Benson. I was explaining this on TikTok earlier on. Why is that an issue for Leeds United? Because Leeds don't have any spots. Willian Yonto goes. You can't replace Willian Yonto with Manuel Benson. You can't. And if you want to know about Manuel Benson's strengths and weaknesses, it's on the video yesterday. But you can't replace Willian Yonto with Manuel Benson. Because Manuel Benson wants to start. He wants to play. Southampton can offer him minutes. European clubs will be able to offer him minutes. What can Leeds offer? Well, Fabio Carvalho is an example. We can't offer him anything when it comes to other clubs who can offer him minutes, time, all this sort of stuff. And then he can build up a portfolio. I've said this about Sinisteri. You build up a portfolio, and then you look good to other clubs. Benson can't do that at Leeds. He could do that at Southampton. He could do that at Hull, who are also interested in him. But Leeds can't offer that. So for me right now, the only players that Leeds should be realistically targeting is players within the back four. There's no point in targeting the front men because he's never going to take James out. He's never going to take Rutter out. He's never going to take Somerville out. And Bamford and Perot rotating right now, aren't they? It's never going to happen. You've got an Italian international who last year was arguably one of our most, and yeah, stats and we'll look at assists and goals and all this sort of stuff. Last year in the Premier League, that team was nothing short of horrific. So getting assists, goals, all this sort of stuff was never going to be a primary focus. Well, obviously, last season it had been a primary focus, but when you actually look at Willie Gnonto, there was way more to his game. He'd occupy 3 or 4 players. He'd be Leeds' main danger man last season. We all know that. History doesn't change. Let's not have like revisionism here. We all know what Willie Gnonto was about in the Premier League. He's one of our most dangerous players. So he can't get in above Dan James, an Italian international. So Benson coming in, it makes no sense. And that's why Manuel Benson will not come to Leeds United. And I will guarantee that right now. But if he is to come, fair enough. But the sales pitch must be interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Would you really not want Benson? I would like Benson, but we've got to be realistic. Hi, Cole. We've got to be realistic. We all want attacking players. We all want shiny new toys. We all want players who are going to put the ball in the back of the net. But Southampton are a more attractive opposition for someone like Manuel Benson. In what world is Leeds a more attractive proposition right now? They've got a literal open spot for a right winger right now. They're above Leeds. They may be able to pay higher wages than Leeds. I don't know. Maybe. And right now, the framework for Southampton for someone like Manuel Benson, him coming in and getting game time, is better, isn't it? Much better. So that's where you've got to sort of sit and sort of look at it when it comes to that, everybody. We can't just always be with our heart as much as I am a lot of the time. I try to take a step back and look at the unbiased view for a player, you know? Hull reporters saying they've stepped away from Benson interest. Yeah, mate, something I heard this morning. They are interested in him, though, which I didn't realise, to be honest. Imagine Benson and Carvalho. Tell you what. Hull City, by the way. Why would you try to fix something that doesn't need fixing up front? Yeah, fair enough, Paul. I want action, not rumours. Rodon doesn't sign. We'll lose him in the summer. Why did Leeds make it so hard to not sign a natural left-back right away and a playmaker and a number 9? Farker is really annoyingly stubborn and kind of ruins our progress. Edward says, right now, mate, no. I don't think we do. I think we get close, but no, I don't think we do. My old man thinks we will. Brownie thinks we will. But right now, no. But if we get personnel in, 3 players in, I think we can make a real good go of it. But as of right now, I see Ipswich strengthening, Leicester strengthening. When it comes to Sensei, who looks like they're getting in from Inter Milan, unbelievably. Southampton strengthening. Even when you could look at Joe Rothwell, that's a top signing at this level. If they are to get a Benson, let's look at Southampton. Apparently, there is still massive interest. Southampton and Charlie Cresswell. What do you guys think about that? Would you sell Cresswell to Southampton if they came in with a decent offer? Looks like they're interested in him this morning. And obviously, we spoke about this right on the start, right at the very start. Charlie Cresswell potentially going to Southampton. Sunderland were interested in him as well. 2 teams who will comprise of the top 6. I'm not saying he'll go there. Probably more likely he'll go to a Millwall or a Stoke, who aren't going to comprise, aren't going to encompass, I should say, that top 6. They might do, they might not. But they can't sell him to Southampton. They can't sell him to Sunderland. They just can't. They cannot do that. I've got this weird feeling that it's going to be us and Sunderland in the playoff final. I don't know why. I just have this feeling. And even so, Sunderland, in my opinion, are going to make that top 6, obviously, with what I've just said. Leeds can't sell him to Sunderland. They can't. Be a great move for Charlie. But anyone in and around that top 6, you've got to look out for the player's career, of course you have. But I'd be looking at selling him to maybe a Stoke, a lower league club, if they are going to get rid of him. Of course they are. And it enhances our need for a centre-back even more. But they cannot sell him to a Sunderland or a Southampton. That'd be mental. Mental. Okay, that's fine, Professor. That's fine. But would you sell him to Southampton? Edward says, as a Saints fan, that last game of the season could be carnage. It could be, mate. Can't sell a player to a promotion competitor. Loft says, Richard, we're 10 points clear of 7. We'll make playoffs. Oh, yeah, we will. We'll make playoffs. Definitely. Even I'll say that. We're in the playoffs. Our squad is kind of thin now. We need more players. I agree with you, Kim. Issue is Farker won't play Cresswell. I agree. He won't play him. Hull Leeds playoff final. Yeah, Matthias, there is. Oh, God, there's so many narratives there, isn't there? I get what you're saying, Lee. I understand what you're saying. But 800 people are in the building this morning. If you could slap a like on the video, that'd be great. We do have a podcast coming later on our Patreon. You can be a YouTube member as well for £2 a month. Hit the join button, which our friends Paul and Ricky have done recently. But this is the rumour mill, mate. I don't want to come on here. This is unfortunately, and I'll be brutally honest with you guys, this YouTube space when it comes to chatting transfers, and it is what it is, but it is such a saturated market now. When I started this 4 years ago, and I'm not saying that I started Rumours because I didn't, but when I started this 4 years ago, which everybody, especially all you OGs, like, you know, you would have been there for, the whole premise of the Rumour Mill was for us to discuss it. It's a discussion. It's a debate. It's getting my opinion. It's getting your opinion. It's interaction. It's engagement. It's you getting to know my opinion, me getting to know your opinion. Unfortunately, right now, the rumours when it comes to Leeds, there's about 4 million Leeds channels out there now, which there never used to be. You know, I get it. Anybody can make a channel. It's fantastic. You know, shout out to them. But the rumours now are just oversaturated. So what we try to do on the rumour mill is I try to give you two different points to try engage you guys. Number one, my opinion and the entertainment value and us guys interacting, and hopefully you are on board with what I'm saying. Number two, my USP is I will try and follow that up with established journalists who I know and I respect massively. They're my selling points now. But the rumour mill has always been the same. Rumour mill. Discussion, topics, debate. That's all it's ever been, mate. And that's all it ever will be. People love it because they like discussing transfers. And hopefully you like my opinion as well. Okay. Do you honestly think Cresswell is good enough, Connor? I don't, mate. I don't naturally think he's the most amazing footballer. I think he's slow on the turn. I think his possession, his play out from the back, his proactivity, when you look at someone like Pascal Struijk who excels in it, it's not good enough. But I think they can be developed. There's a reason he's in the England setup. And we're all talking about him not being good enough. But everybody was talking about him being good enough. Him being good enough. When we played West Ham and he pocketed Antonio for a period of time. Everybody was talking about him being good enough when it came to the successor to Liam Cooper. So let's not just erase Charlie Cresswell and say, well, he's a crap footballer. I think that he will be sold, and I'm on board with that now. As long as we get a replacement, I'm on board with that. But what I will say is you can't sell him to our promotion rivals. That'd be ridiculous. Cheers, Jay. Yeah, thanks, mate. As I say, Ricky, I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that. Join member. I don't know what it is, Adam, on the iPhone, buddy. I think you do have to get on a laptop or an iPad. It's very odd. But maybe some of the subscribers can let Adam know if that's all right. Unless Phil Hay said it on Twitter in the square ball, I don't believe it. Yeah, that's fair enough, Luke. What I will say is I think the Leeds journalists do get drip fed a little bit, but not on the general sphere. They don't. As in, I still believe that you get a lot of the general journalists who get it right above our journalists, just in terms of, I don't know how they might get it from the other side. Leeds don't drip feed that much, I don't feel, to our local journalists. So I think the general sphere is what we get a lot of our knowledge from. Fabrizio Romano, Mike McGrath. I think that happens, doesn't it? So yeah, guys, I'll tell you what, we'll leave it there. Really appreciate your support. We're going to be back later on with some more content. Which journalist do you trust the most, Con? Depends for what club, mate. Depends for what club. But yeah, listen, think the beauty of what Leeds journalists do is they bring you the confirmation. That's the beauty. But I think generally they get the general journalists get a lot right. And I think they naturally and they quote them. You know, our journalists quote these journalists who get it right a lot. So yeah, obviously, you know, it's they work in a little network, don't they? Which is great. Guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining. Please hit the like before you leave. Make sure you join as well the membership. It's well worth it. But the Patreon as well. We have 4 extra episodes a week. I'm going to be going over there and doing a little bit of transfer bonus right now, which makes it 5 videos a week. So it's well worth it. £4 a month. All the proceeds go to the channel. We'll have shorts on the channel. We'll have updates throughout the day. Thank you so much for being supporters of the One Leeds Fan Channel. It means the world to me. You're all legends. Head on over to TikTok. Follow me on TikTok if you like all that young stuff.